Listen. Outside, the city is breathing in a rhythmic, terrifying unison. Somewhere miles away, 80,000 bodies are packed into a concrete vessel. A roar erupts. It's not just a sound, it's a vibration that shakes the very foundations of the neighborhood. A ball has crossed a white line. For a brief, flickering second, a mass of strangers feels a surge of power so intense they believe they are gods. But here, in this room, there is only the hum of your laptop and the cold ripples in your glass. You've spent your life feeling like a ghost at the feast, like you're missing a fundamental piece of the human operating system. They call it passion, you call it noise. But what if your indifference is actually a highly evolved bypass of a primitive trap? In 1976, psychologist Robert Cialdini noticed a strange ritual on college campuses. He observed that after a university football win, students were significantly more likely to wear school colors. They used the word "we." "We won," they would say. But when the team lost, the colors disappeared. The "we" became a "they." Cialdini called this basking in reflected glory, or BIRGing. It's a survival patch for a hollow identity. When your own life feels like a series of quiet stalemates, your brain hitches a ride on someone else's victory. It's a cheap synthetic dopamine hit designed to mask the lack of a personal narrative. Your brain, however, rejects the proxy triumph. You have an internal locus of control. You don't need a stranger to kick a ball to feel like a winner, because your self-worth isn't traded on a public exchange. Evolution is a cruel architect. It designed sport as a ritualized war, a safe laboratory for the lethal conflicts our ancestors faced for millennia. Tashfel and Turner's social identity theory reveals that we are hardwired to find a tribe, to create an us and an in-group. For the masses, the stadium is the modern temple of the tribe. It activates the same neural circuits as a war council. But your internal radar is tuned to a different frequency. You aren't socially broken. You simply refuse to participate in the collective narcissism that fandom provides. You don't need to hate a rival team to know who you are. Researcher Daniel Wan identified a specific psychological trait in those who stand outside the stadium gates. It's called a high need for cognition. While the fan craves the controlled, repetitive drama of the pitch, you crave the unpredictable complexity of ideas. You don't want to watch the game. You want to understand the physics of the ball, the economics of the stadium, and the psychology of the crowd. You prefer active mastery over passive absorption. Noam Chomsky once argued that mass sports are a masterclass in distraction, a way to train the public mind to focus on things that do not matter. This isn't a simple divide between the smart and the simple. The history of thought is full of contradictions. Albert Camus, a Nobel laureate and philosopher of the absurd, was a goalkeeper who claimed he learned everything about morality from the football field. Niels Bohr, the man who decoded the atom, was a devoted footballer. For them, the game was a rest for the heavy mind. But for you, the game is the heavy part. Interest in sport isn't a measure of intelligence. It's a measure of how you choose to close your cognitive loops. For the fan, the final whistle provides the closure. For the outlier, the whistle is just the beginning of a much deeper question. There is a darker price to this civic religion. In the UK and the US, statistics show a terrifying spike in domestic violence reports following major tournament losses. This is the result of BIRGing gone wrong. When the reflected glory vanishes, all that remains is the raw, unchanneled aggression of a tribe that has lost its purpose. By standing outside this loop, you're not just missing a hobby, you are insulating yourself from a cycle of emotional instability. So, stop apologizing for the silence. Don't try to learn the social lubricant of sports talk just to fit in. Your indifference is your laboratory. Every hour they spend analyzing a replay is an hour you spend building an empire. You are an outlier in a world of spectators. While they play for the we, you are perfecting the I. Welcome to the silent majority, the architects of a different reality. Subscribe to the deep work. Build something that remains long after the stadium lights go dark.